Good evening, everyone. It's been a while, hasn't it? I took the weekend off to enjoy my anniversary with my wife, and now I guess we have to get back to some point, don't we? So why not tonight? So we are starting Season 3, Round 5 of the Solo Crisis League. This is the final round. Let's fix that a little bit. There we go. This is the final round for Season 3. So we are just about done there. We'll take a break week and then Season 4. So we get 3 attempts at it this week. I'll go over the hero choices and see which ones I'm going to use this week. Season 3, Round 5 is going to be using Heroes Unite plus Crisis 1. It was the most voted for and most played round during Season 3. So that's what we're doing for Season 5. But we have new hero choices this time to make it a little more different, more unique. Alright, so these are our choices. So we've got Black Canary. +1 for each different villain you play during your turn. I'm not really going to play a ton of villains, but what we could do is use some of the John Constantine cards, like, not Magic, what's the other one? Signature Trenchcoat. Using Signature Trenchcoat from Crisis 1, we could just fill our deck of villains and get +2 or 3 per turn easily. So that's a good option. Hawkman is +1 for each hero you play. That's like Black Canary, except even easier. Heroes are even easier to keep because you don't have to do any special steps to get them. Crisis Aquaman. When you buy or gain a card with cost 5 or less during your turn, you may put in any player's discard pile. That's a great ability for multiplayer. For solo play, that's not special. I can already put a card I buy in my discard pile. So, yeah, we can't use that. Green Lantern. When any player is attacked, you may discard 3 cards. If you do, that player avoids the attack. Well, that's pretty nice because we do have all the villains in this, and being able to essentially have a defense at all times sounds pretty useful. But I usually don't have a huge problem coming with defenses, so maybe not so much. Put that in the middle here. Animal Man and Swamp Thing. Animal Man is during each of your turns if you have played 3 or more different card types +2 power. I mean, he's kind of like these two, except I think these two would be more consistent, right? Sure, I play 3 or more different card types, great, and I get 2 power, but if this plays 3 heroes, that's +3 power. So I guess it's kind of on the same level, but I do think these ones are going to be a little more consistent. And then there's Swamp Thing. During your turn, you are considered to control each location in the lineup and in play. So in play isn't a big deal. Obviously, I always control the locations I control and have in play. But having them in the lineup, that's pretty interesting because then I don't have to buy them at all. I can just have them. From the time they come off the main deck, they're mine. So that's pretty interesting. So I think I am definitely going to do Swamp Thing. I'm going to go for Black Canary just because it's interesting. I really like the idea of using John Constantine to fill up on villains and just getting a ton of power from it. And I think we'll go with Hawkman for the same thing, except a little bit easier. I think, what should we start with tonight? I think I really want to start with Black Canary. I really want to go head in, just trying to buy as many villains as possible, and using Signature Trenchcoat to get it ready, get it going, and yeah, I think that's what we're gonna go with. Yeah, Hawkman and Animal Man are pretty amazing. I'm going to go with Black Canary just because I think it's interesting. I like playing. I've played this game a lot, well before I started streaming it, so I just want to go with something that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but also just kind of put myself in a unique situation of purposely filling my deck with villains. This doesn't have the stipulation at the end. This has Crisis Anti-Monitor at the end, not Crisis Necron, so I can use those villains, unlike with Crisis Black Canary against Necron. So I'm going to go out of my way to just fill my deck with villains, and yeah, I think I'll have fun with that. I'm going to go step aside just for a minute. I just want to fix this lighting issue here, and I'll be right back, and we'll get started. Alright, we're back. So we're going to start with Arkham Breakout in play. Arkham Breakout means when a villain with an attack enters the lineup, treat it as if it were a first appearance attack against all players. Now I do kind of wish I picked Green Lantern now that I think about it. I could defend myself against all of these, but that's okay. Some of the attacks really aren't that bad. Each player must secretly place a card from his hand face down when... Oh, you know what? That's for regular play. For solo play, Arkham Breakout does have a special rule. At the start of your turn, discard your hand. Remove this crisis if all those cards have different names. So it's going to take minimum 5 turns. I guess you could do it faster if you could buy less cards, cheaper cards. I'd still say minimum 5 turns, just out of average sake. So then there's Ra's al Ghul. At the end of your turn, if you do not buy or gain a card from the lineup, add the top card of the main deck to the lineup. So if I buy a kick instead of something from the lineup, we're adding 2 cards at the end of my turn as opposed to 1. So that's not ideal. So let's try and get this thing going. So, Avatar of the Rot is an attack, so we're going to have to take that right away. Each foe gains 2 weakness cards, so I guess we'll get 2 weakness cards before we even get 2 cards in the lineup. There we go. Hey, ongoing defense card. I love Force Field. Winged Warrior, fantastic card. And Gotham City. Oh, we didn't play Swamp Thing this time. If we played Swamp Thing, we'd already have Gotham City, which is nice. I have 5 cards here, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 power and a vulnerability. With that, I'm tempted to buy a kick, but the issue with that is that Ra's al Ghul is going to add 2 cards if I do, so we're going to go with Force Field instead. We could use that Force Field to avoid some of these basic attacks from, these first appearance attacks from villains. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we have 1 power, 2 power, and 3 power. Gotta buy a kick with that. I'm not gonna not buy anything. So we do have to add 2 cards to the lineup. That one has an attack. So Strife has an attack. Each foe reveals his hand and discards cards with the same name as a card in the lineup. Well, fortunately, I don't have any of those cards in my hand, so we should be okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, none of these are in the lineup, obviously. All right, I'm hoping we get Signature Trenchcoat pretty early, and Black Canary can be used heavily. Hoping. We'll see what happens. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a weakness, which we will use to get Power of the Red. It's not my favorite card. It's one of my least favorite. I find it really obnoxious sometimes when it takes up space in your deck. But we've got 2 weaknesses and 3 vulnerabilities right now. We're probably going to want to discard some cards. Deadshot attacks. Each player reveals the top card of his deck. If it costs 1 or greater, they discard it. All right, doesn't get discarded. Force Field's out to defend. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 power. We'll get rid of Strife for that. New card coming out. Star Sapphire Power Ring. Nice. 4 cards, got to shuffle. I really like Star Sapphire. She is one of my favorite of the power rings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How are we doing? 1 power, 2 power, and 3 power. Man, I just can't get out of that 3 power funk. We'll get rid of Deadshot, just so I don't have to deal with Ra's al Ghul. Alright, Blue Lantern Power Ring. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of wishing I went with Hawkman from my first game, because Hawkman plus Blue Lantern Power Ring, it's a nice little combo. Alright, 1, 2, 3 power. Okay, because that's 3 power, we're going to get a kick. I'm going to take a few risks here. If I can't afford a card out there, we're definitely going to go for the kick. I just want to be... I have to put 2 cards out because I didn't buy a card from the lineup. I just want to be in a situation where I generate more power. 3 power per turn is not going to work. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, we've got 1 power, 2, 3, 4 power. Ooh, fancy. With the 4 power, I guess we'll get another Power of the Red. I need it, apparently, because these hands have been terrible. Kyle Rayner. Oh, okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. If we get to the point that we can afford White Lantern Power Battery, that's going to be great, because we can use that to gain both of these rings. I'm hoping that's what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4 power. Means I can't afford any of those, because everything is 5 at least. So we're going to go ahead and get a kick. And then 2 cards are going to come out. Skeets and Flight. Well, at least they're both defense cards. We are really filling that lineup early, though, aren't we? 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and 3 vulnerabilities. So with that 3 power, we will go ahead and buy Flight. Not my favorite card, but gotta not get hit by Ra's al Ghul, and we just replace it with another Flight. Alright, we still have to get rid of Avatar of the Rop before we can get rid of Arkham Breakout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just looking at all my options, and it's not going super well yet. We're going to use Power of the Red. We will discard a vulnerability and draw another card. And we will. You know what? We're going to risk it. We're going to say Power of the Red. We're going to discard 3 punches. We're going to discard all 3 punches and draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. How did I do? 2, 3, 4, 5. That actually ended up being worth it, didn't it? What do I want to buy? I'm going to buy Gotham City. And the reason I'm going to buy Gotham City for 5 is because it has the ability to once during each of my turns reveal the top card of my deck. If it's an equipment, draw it. If not, you may discard it. That means once during each of my turns, I can look at the top card of my deck. And if it's a vulnerability or a weakness, I can get it off of there. So we're going to get that early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. New card has to come out. And... alright, we have 1, 2, 3 power. Again, of these 3 powers. Okay, we'll buy Flight. And a new card will come out. Another power ring? That's crazy. Okay. I was hoping that I could get White Lantern Power Battery and then just use that to sweep all the power rings. You know, I'm still going to try and do that. I'm going to leave them there just so I can have that effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 power and 2 weaknesses. With that 4, we'll buy Sonic Siren. New card will come out. Superboy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How are we doing? We have, we're going to play Gotham City. And we're going to use it to look at this card. And you know what? We will discard this punch. It's just a punch. Then I'm going to play Power of the Red, discard Vulnerability and Punch to draw 2 more cards. And what do we get? Not great. 1, 2, 3 power, which we're going to use to go ahead and get a kick. And that's going to add 2 cards to the lineup, unfortunately. So that's House of Mystery and Crimson Whirlwind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. What do we got here? Did I draw too many? I did draw too many. There we go. Well, I guess we're going to use that, and we'll get rid of a punch and a vulnerability to draw 2 cards. And what do we got? We got 2 punches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And with that 5, I'm tempted to buy a power ring. I really am. But I just think it would be so cool to end up in a situation where I get them all with White Lantern Power Battery. I want that moment. So I'm going to shoot for it. They're going to keep trying to make that goal happen. Signature Trench Coat. Okay. Well, that's going to make some more dreams come true. That's going to start getting some villains into my pocket. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh. Let's look at the top card of our deck. Is it an equipment? It is not, and we will leave it there. We have 1, 2, 3 power this turn. We will buy a kick, and that's going to add 2 cards to the lineup. 2 more cards coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's better. Okay. I'm going to play Power of the Red, and we're going to discard our entire hand except for Starbolt, because Starbolt gets plus power for superpowers in the discard pile. So we're just going to discard them to increase Starbolt's power and draw 2 more cards. And we've got 1, 2, 3, and then plus the superpowers in our discard pile, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I wanted that 7 so bad. Oh, I really did. Alright, that's too bad. For 6 power, how tempted am I? I think I want Soul Taker Sword real badly. But, you know what? Captain Adam's going to help me get some cards. A little bit easier. I don't have to generate the power. I can just gain them, put them right in my hand. Granny Goodness does not have an attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. We're going to play Gotham City. Are you an equipment? You are not, and we will leave you there. 2 power. You may destroy a card in the lineup and replace it. We're going to destroy Avatar of the Rot and replace it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello, White Lantern Power Battery. It's a matter of time, people. I don't think this has ever happened for me. I think maybe the most I've ever gotten out of that is 1 power ring in an entire game. Now I'm going to get 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do Gotham City. We're going to shuffle our deck so we can look at the top card of our deck. If it's equipment, we'll draw it. I will shuffle on screen so you know I'm not just purposely putting White Lantern Power Battery on top of the deck, though I do hope that's what happens. Alright, there we go. We'll split it right there. So, White Lantern Power Battery, come on, equipment. We'll discard that punch just to get that Power Battery here even faster. 2, 4, 5, and a couple weaknesses and vulnerabilities. With that 5, we're going to get Signature Trenchcoat. Or no, we'll get rid of Granny Goodness. Yes, we'll get rid of Granny Goodness. And a new card will come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, since we're in a situation where we do not have villains out, we can attempt to beat Arkham Breakout, which is, at the start of your turn, discard your hand. Remove the Crisis if each card in your hand has a different name. I've got 2 punches. That's not the case. Captain Adam. You may gain a card of cost 4 or less from the lineup and put it into any player's hand. We're going to put Signature Trenchcoat in our hand or Soul Taker Sword. We're going to go Signature Trenchcoat. It's going to be better long term, I think. Alright, so then we're going to play it. You may gain a card of cost 5 or less from the destroyed pile. We're going to gain... I guess we'll gain Strife. So we are at 0 power. Did I do Gotham City yet? I didn't. And we'll leave her there. So I gain a card from the lineup with the same name as a card in my hand. Obviously, this card's nowhere out there, but that is 1 power from Black Canary. She's starting to pay for herself. And then I'm going to use power of the red on all 3 of these cards to draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. We are at 1 power, 2 power, 3 power, 4, 5, and I may destroy a card in the lineup and replace it. I will not be destroying anything. We're going to take Superboy with the hopes of using it to get Starbolts into my hand. Alright. Get a new card out there. Quiver of Arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, Power Ring. Nope. Alright, Gotham City. Are you an equipment? You are not. And you know what? We will discard you. Alright, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then count those superpowers. 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on, 10, 11. With that 11, we're going to get Kyle Rayner for 7, and then we still have 4 left over, which we will get House of Mystery with. Yes, yes, yes. It's all working out. Alright, new card comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know what's in here. White Lantern Power Ring. Gain all power rings from the lineup. Boom. 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 And put them into your hand. Then gain any card from the lineup and put it on top of your deck. We're going to go ahead and gain... Oh, what do we want? We're going to gain Soul Taker Sword and put that on top of my deck. Then we're going to play Gotham City. Are you an equipment? You are. Then I'm going to play Soul Taker Sword. That's 2 power. And we're going to destroy a punch. So, 2 power. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 1 for each hero in my discard pile. 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And then guess what? Indigo can copy the power of that card. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 power. Reveal the top 2 cards of my deck. 17 power. Reveal the top 2 cards of my deck. Right there. 1, 2. If they share a card type, put them back in any order. If not, draw them. Alright, we'll draw them. So 17, and then we'll play House of Mystery out here. 18 power total. Okay, that's a pretty eventful turn, I'd say. Alright, 18 power. We're going to go ahead and buy Metropolis for 5. We're going to buy Canary Cry for 4, leaving us with 9 power. We'll go ahead and get Winged Warrior, and I have 3 left over that we will just use on Power of the Green. That pretty much cleared that line up. And now, hopefully, we can get on to the business of beating Arkham Breakout and Ra's al Ghul. New card comes out. Do I have 5 cards of different names? We do. That is 5 cards with different names. Discard them. Goodbye to Arkham Breakout. New card comes out. Nice indeed. Yes, I was hoping for that for a while. And I'm glad it happened because I don't think I've ever had that actually happen with White Lantern Power Battery. It usually ends up being like a nothing card for me. But that was a lot of fun. Alright, so I get to put 2 cards out because of Ra's al Ghul. Because I didn't buy any cards, I just discarded my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, let's look at the top card. Are you an equipment? You are not. And, we'll leave you there. 2, I made 2. And I'm not going to play it. I'm going to play that last. 2, 4, 5. Gain a card from the lineup with the same name as a card in my hand. No such card out there. So, if I choose not to, plus 1. Okay. So, 2, 4, 5, 6. And then because of Black Canary, that's 7. 8, 9 with Sonic Siren. We can destroy and replace a card, but I'm not going to because I don't want to dwindle the main deck. I don't have to. He's only costing 1. It's not really a point. So goodbye to Ra's al Ghul for all 9 there. I don't think I didn't trigger House of Mystery, but I can still do Gotham City. Right, no, we already did, and that was still, that's right. I remember now. Don't worry, I remember now. So a new card will come out. Hawk Girl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of catching up, I suppose. It's a really fun game. I love this game. It's one of my favorite deck builders. It's been around for a while. I think the first game launched in 2012 with the first Crisis expansion not coming out till, I want to say 2014 or 15 maybe. I think Crisis 1 was 2014. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. This is a solo play version, which you can actually just find in the rule book. You didn't have to make anything up or find something on Board Game Geek. Right in the rule book, it's built in with a solo mode. So that's what we're doing. And if you're interested, we do have a league mode for this that I run online, and we'll talk more about that later. So we did just beat our first villain with Ra's al Ghul, so we have our new crisis, and that new crisis is Wave of Terror. At the start of your turn, discard all cards that share the lowest cost in your hand. Okay. And then to beat is actually different for solo. At the start of your turn, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Remove this crisis if each of those cards has cost 1 or greater. Well, we can't do that because Talon's out here, and you can't beat a crisis when there's villains in the lineup. Then we have a new villain, and it is Captain Cold. Each player flips his superhero face down. You know what? We're just going to defend with Force Field. While this card is in play, you may put it into your discard pile to avoid an attack. So, we're not going to have to deal with Captain Cold today, and I'm okay with that. So, we do have to deal with Wave of Terror. We have to discard all cards with lowest cost in our hand, which unfortunately is all these 0-cost punches. I guess first we'll play Gotham City, are you an equipment? You're not. We will discard that. And then I'm going to play Wave Power of the Red to discard this other Power of the Red and draw a card. And it's a weakness. So overall, nothing happened this turn. Didn't generate a single power. New card comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still have Wave of Terror in play, so all my 0-cost cards are gone. Alright, we're going to start with... What do we got? We're going to start with Gotham City. Are you an equipment? You are not, and we will keep you right there. We'll start then with Flight. 1, 2, 3, and +1 for all the superpowers in my discard power. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to separate those. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and we already counted that one, so that's 14 power. Not much to spend it on. 15, I can put a superpower from my discard pile into my hand. What do I want? We'll put Force Field into my hand so that we can play it, which allows us to draw a card, which is Kyle Rayner. So that's 16, 17, 18. Triggers House of Mystery to draw a card. We'll deal with that. But then it's +2 for each lantern ring in my discard pile. So that 18 just became all these lantern rings. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's a pretty good turn. Oh yeah, and then I can gain a card of 4 or less in the lineup. What do we want? I do want Soul Taker Sword, so that'll be 26. We'll get rid of Talon to bring us down to 25. We'll get Crimson Whirlwind to 20, 18, 14, 10, 4. Oh, I can afford the whole thing? I don't really want the whole thing. We're going to leave these 3 out here. I could afford all of them. We'll get one more kick instead. Just one more kick. Deck's getting pretty big. I need some destruction cards. That's why I wanted to get Soul Taker Sword with the hopes of destroying some of these punches, vulnerabilities, weaknesses. Get him out of here. So, shuffle this up. You know, for having to discard the lowest cost card in my entire hand, 3 punches I think it was, and still generate 26 power, it's a pretty good turn. I'll take it. There are no villains in the lineup. We do have to have a new card come out. It's a villain, of course, so forget what I just said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is Brother Blood. He costs 6. Let's do it. Yeah. Crimson Whirlwind. 2 power. And you may put your... You know what? We can't do it because Crimson Whirlwind's going to trigger House of Mystery. So we can't do that. Instead, we'll play Winged Warrior. He's 2 power, and he'll become an additional +3 if we play another hero. But he'll trigger House of Mystery. You know what? No. First, we're going to play Gotham City. Are you an equipment? You are, so we draw it. Then we'll play Winged Warrior. 2 power. You are +5 power. You're 2 power, but because of House of Mystery, you get to draw a card. So that's 2. Then we're going to gain a card from the destroyed pile. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get Deadshot. So we're at 2 power. 3, 4, triggering this to bring us to 7 power and put this entire deck in my discard pile. 8, 9, and +1 for each hero in my discard pile. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright, there's that. I can put a villain from my discard pile into my hand. We'll gain Deadshot. 16 with Black Canary, 17. and then I have to reveal the top 2 cards of my deck. This is all unnecessary. All I needed was 6 power to get through this turn. I'm just really liking how much power this thing is just generating. Somehow I managed to get there this early. And they're the same type of cards, so we'll just leave them right on top of the deck. So 17 power is enough to buy Brother Blood, get him out of there. And that's a ton of power that I don't need left over. Please no villain. Ah, it's a villain. So here's the problem. To beat Wave of Terror, I have to try and beat it at the beginning of my turn. Can't beat at the beginning of my turn if there's a villain in the lineup. So if there's a villain in the lineup keeps coming out each turn, I'm out of luck. What do we got here? I really like Dark Knight's Metal. I got it when it first came out just a few months ago. I've got it sitting back there, actually. I've got a few videos on it. I did do a test game with Dark Knight's Metal in each of the Crisis expansions. I had a lot of fun doing it. Dark Knight's Metal is a slightly tougher version, a slightly tougher base box, and the reason, at least for Crisis mode, it's slightly tougher. And the reason for that is because it's got something like 10 to 20 less cards in the main deck, which means you only have 10 to 20 less turns you can take, because Crisis mode ends when you beat all the villains or the main deck runs out. So since the main deck's kind of like a timer, having a smaller main deck means you are kind of on a smaller timer to beat the game. Now that being said, the deck is very powerful, and using multiple heroes at the same time is pretty hard to surpass with any other card combination. So Dark Knight's Metal, just get it. You're going to have a lot of fun doing it. It's very unique in how its heroes interact. Like, usually in the DC games, you pick a hero and that's your hero. Maybe a Crisis makes you switch it, but otherwise, that's it. You buy a hero, that's your hero. With Dark Knight's Metal, you lose heroes and gain heroes, and you have multiple heroes at the same time. It's so much fun. Additionally, weaknesses are an actual threat. They don't just hold spots in your hand and make you weaker because of it. They have a function. If you play 2 weaknesses during your turn, you have to lose one of your superheroes, and your turn is over. That's pretty cool. There's an actual threat to them. You don't want those, other than just for the usual, oh, I can't generate enough power this turn. There is something bad that happens, a consequence besides that. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to talk about it more because we're going to be introducing Dark Knight's Metal into the Solo Crisis League starting next season, and going forward, it'll be a regular function. So if you want to learn more about it, I'd recommend watching any of the other videos. There's 4 of them. They're called, I think, Dark Knight's Metal plus Crisis 1 through Crisis 4. And yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. So, we can't beat Wave of Terror because there is a villain in the lineup. So, we are going to put Metropolis out here. So, first we will do, hey, Metropolis is going to trigger House of Mystery, so we draw a card, first of all. Then we're going to say, are you an equipment? You are. Okay. And then we can say, are you superpower? It is not, and we will discard it. That was pretty good. We'll start with Power of the Red, but I don't think there is anything I want to discard now that I think about it. We'll discard Flight, and I think that's it. I'll draw a card. We'll get Sonic Siren. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Oh, don't worry about interrupting at all. I'm happy to talk about it. Anything to give me something to talk about other than exactly what I'm doing. It's weird when you start doing this and you realize you're just reading cards to people, but it's what I'm doing in my own head anyway, so why not? So, here we go. Where was I? We have Skeets. I put a hero from my discard pile on top of my deck. If I choose not to, draw a card. Do I have a hero? Do I want Crimson Whirlwind back? We'll put Winged Warrior on top. That's a good choice. We can gain a card that costs 4 or less from the lineup and put it in any player's hand. We're going to gain Parasite, but you can't gain villains. They just go to the destroyed pile. I have a bunch of other cards, but I'm not going to use them because I'm not going to buy anything. I just kind of want to move along. No point in showing off generating high power if I can't spend it on anything. So please don't be a villain. Okay, not a villain. Now, to beat Wave of Terror, I do have to discard the lowest cost cards in my hand, so that's these 2 zeros. At the start of your turn, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Remove this crisis if each of those cards has cost 1 or greater. So 3 cards, please be all 1 or greater. 3, 3, and 3. Goodbye to Wave of Terror. Okay. Now we've got our hand to go. And we've got White Lantern Power Battery to gain Yellow Lantern Power Ring. Okay. We're going to play it. That triggers House of Mystery so we can draw a card. Then we'll say, are you an equipment? It is. And then we'll say, are you a superpower? You are not, and... we'll discard her. We don't need her. We'll be okay. Okay. We're going to play Soul Taker Sword. That's 2 power to destroy this vulnerability. 3, 4... 5, 6, and then 7, 8, plus those superpowers, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 powers, enough to say goodbye to Captain Cold. I still have 5 left over, but I'm not going to buy those cards now. I didn't want to earlier. We'll go ahead and buy a kick and leave it at that. Alright, we'll get our next hand ready. We still have Force Field available to us so we can defend whatever happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a good hand. New card comes out. Our new crisis is Alternate Reality. At the start of your turn, destroy all heroes in your hand. Gain that many random villains from the destroyed pile and put them into your hand. I don't want to lose Kyle Rayner. I don't want to lose Kyle Rayner. Okay, your team must destroy 12 cost worth of heroes in their discard pile. This is unfortunate. Kyle Rayner is a great card. I don't think I can get him back. Ah, terrible. Okay, so at the start of your turn, destroy all heroes in your hand. Gain that many random villains from the destroyed pile and put them into your hand. Okay, we've got a new villain, and it is Brainiac. Each player discards a random card and then destroys. You know what, we're going to defend. You may discard this attack card to avoid an attack. If you do, you may put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. Card from my discard pile on top of my deck is going to be... It's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be Signature Trenchcoat. We'll put that on top of my deck. So at the start of my turn, I have to destroy all heroes in my hand. So we have to destroy Kyle Rayner, which is a shame, really. And then I have to gain that many random villains from the deck. So we're going to shuffle up the destroyed pile here. We get 1. We get Talon. That's too bad. That's a terrible card. Okay. First off, we're going to say, hey, are you an equipment? You are. We're going to play Soul Taker Sword. That's 2 power, and I can destroy a card in my hand, destroying this vulnerability. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can gain a card of cost 5 or less from the destroyed pile. Can't gain Kyle Rayner because it's too expensive. Ugh. We'll go ahead and gain Parasite. That's going to be our turn. I don't want to buy anything for that much. Oh, but I can try and be Alternate Reality. I have to destroy 12 cost worth of heroes from my discard pile. There are no villains out there, so I can do that. We have 6, 4, 2, 6, and 5. So we need to come up with a combination that gets us to 6. Really liked Winged Warrior. But if I get rid of 4, 2, and 5, that's what? 5, 6, 7, plus 4 is 11. The reason I was trying to look at these is because they all cost less than 5. I can use Signature Trenchcoat to get these back. So basically I have to destroy one of the 6s. We're going to destroy Captain Cold. And then I'm going to destroy Crimson Whirlwind. That brings us to 11. And then we'll destroy Hawkgirl for 2 more. You know what? We're going to destroy Sonic Siren for 2 more. For 4 more, whatever. Whatever. Those are destroyed. alternate reality is gone. That's the moral of the story here. New card comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we don't have to destroy heroes at the beginning of my turn. Here we go. Let's see. Are you an equipment? You are not. We will discard you. Are you a superpower? You are. You may gain a card from the line of the same name as a card in your hand. We're going to gain Power of the Red because there's one in my hand. Then we're going to play Power of the Red. And we're going to discard all 3 of these to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. Play Captain Adam to get Dr. Sylvania. That's out of there. This triggers House of Mystery to draw another card. And it's Indigo Tribe. Okay. 2, 4, 5, and this will copy a kick to get to 6, 7. Not enough to get rid of Brainiac, but it's something. Certainly something. Man, I want Kyle Rayner back already. I'm really sad that that card is gone. That's a great combo, that Kyle Rayner plus all of those rings that we gained. It's a shame. I don't think there's a way to get him back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because John Constantine's trench coat, signature trench coat, can only get cards that cost 5 or less. I don't think there's anything else that's going to get me there. Let's start our turn with, are you an equipment? You are not. We'll leave you there. Are you a superpower? You are. We draw it. We'll play Canary Cry to draw a card. Then we'll play Skeets to also draw a card. And then we're going to play Soul Taker Sword for 2 power and to destroy this punch. 4, 6, 8, 9. We'll get rid of Red Lantern Corps. And that's going to be the end of that turn. New card comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Okay, that's interesting. Are you an equipment? You are not. Are you a superpower? You are. We're going to play that. We're going to get rid of this punch and draw a card. We're going to play Deadshot for 1 power with Black Canary. That's 2. Granny Goodness, remove a hero or villain from the lineup, play it, then return it to the lineup. There are none, so we just get the +1 here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and +1 for each hero in my discard pile. 5. Then it's Starbolt. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then it's Blue Lantern Power Ring. 11, and then +1 for each hero, 12. Which is the perfect amount we needed to get rid of Brainiac. Whew. Okay. It's going okay. Don't have the destruction cards I need, and the cards that Crises have destroyed so far have been cards I would have rather kept. So we're just going to keep powering through and see what happens. Collapsing Parallel Worlds. Man, every time. Each player places all cards he buys or gains from the lineup under this card, including villains. Oh, so, okay, never mind. All cards he buys or gains from the lineup under this card. Remove this crisis when there are 10 cards under this card. Then one player destroys his deck and discard pile. The card under this crisis becomes his new deck. So it is only cards from the lineup. In the past, I think I've played it where I've bought cards from the destroyed pile, but that's not what it says. It says cards from the lineup. Okay, there's that then. I'm going to lose a lot of good cards. Let's be honest. Lex Luthor. This attack cannot be avoided. Each player gains X weaknesses where X is equal to the highest VP value among cards in his hand. The highest I've got is 2, so I gain 2 weaknesses. This is not looking good. Hopefully things go a little better on the other side of Collapsing Parallel Worlds. We're going to play... What are we going to play? We're going to start with Gotham City. Are you an equipment? You are not. Hey, are you a superpower? You are. 2, 3, 4. There are no lantern rings. Oh, but then I can gain a card from the lineup and put it on top of my deck. We'll gain Bow Staff, but that goes underneath here. We'll gain Black Lantern Core, and that goes underneath there. Okay. So again, that was 2, 3, 4 power, and these guys do nothing. Oh, that does trigger... don't worry about it. We're just going to buy Bow Staff. I was thinking, you know what? It does trigger... enough to get this as well. It triggers House of Mystery, but I'm not worried about it. That's okay. Jason Blood, there's a good card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jason Blood's going to be very good for Black Canary, too. All right. Power of the Red, we'll start there. You know what? First off, we're going to start with, are you an equipment? You are. Are you a superpower? You are not. We will leave you there. We're going to play Power of the Red, discarding a Power of the Red and a Flight, so I can draw 2 more cards. 1, 2. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5. I can put a hero from my discard pile into my hand. Six, I can put a superpower from my discard pile into my hand. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 power. Copy that with Indigo Power Ring. So that's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 power. 27, 28, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 18 power, nothing to spend it on. New card comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only need 3 power. So that's 1, 2, 3. Goodbye to that. That's our turn. I guess we'll start with, hey, are you an equipment? Oh, you are. I guess we can buy something from the destroyed pile for whatever it's worth for now. Sure, we'll get what for 4 power or less, huh? We'll get Dr. Savanya. Don't really need him. He's not from the lineup, so I can't put him out underneath Collapsing Parallel Worlds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 2 power for that. Kick. Batarang. Done. Next card. Science Cell. Shuffle everything up. Okay. Let's try and get through this. How many cards are there right now? We're looking at, for Collapsing Parallel Worlds, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's Science Cell. Science Cell is number 9 of 10. Green Lantern Power Ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we get to keep a few good cards, huh? We can play Skeets to put a hero in my hand, so we'll keep Winged Warrior. Then I'm gonna play... are you an equipment? You are not. We will discard you. And then are you a superpower? You are not, and we will discard you. 1, 2 power. 3, 4, 5. Play these, but not really do anything. Get rid of Green Lantern Power Ring. And that triggers the end of Collapsing Parallel Worlds. So, remove this crisis when there are 10 cards. Then one player destroys his deck and discard pile. The card under the crisis becomes his new deck. So, I do get to keep the cards I played this turn. Those aren't gone. But my discard pile is gone. Weaknesses go back, blah, 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 blah. And this is all gone. That has a lot of good cards in there. So there is a weakness right there. So I guess it's not so much to miss yet. But White Lantern Power Battery, that's never coming back. We lost a Starbolt, all those rings. I guess we lost all the punches too, so that's not so bad. Bunch of kicks. But it's really all the rings and the few villains I've gathered. Plus Signature Trenchcoat. Luckily, there is another Signature Trenchcoat somewhere in this deck. Hopefully, we get it soon. But this is our new deck. Time to shuffle it up and get ready to beat Lex Luthor with it. See if we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get a new card out here. Magic. Nice. Okay, first off, are you an equipment? You are, so we'll draw that. And then are you a superpower? You are not, and we'll discard you. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can look at the top card of my deck. I may discard it. We will. 8, 9, 10. 10 is not enough. Oh, wait, but that triggers the House of Mystery, so I can draw a card. 11, 12, 13, and put a villain from my discard pile on top of my deck. 13 is enough to buy Lex Luthor. That is over. All right. So far, this deck's okay with me. And we'll shuffle it up and get ready for whatever's next. All right, we do have Force Field to protect us from whatever happens here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. New card coming out. Black Lantern Corps. Okay, new crisis is a death in the family. At the start of your turn, destroy a hero in the lineup. If there are none to destroy, add the top card of the main deck to the lineup. Each player must destroy a defense card from hand. I hope I have one of those somewhere. Then we've got Hades. Each player puts the top 2 cards of the main deck into the lineup. Gain weaknesses equal to the cost of one of those cards. We're going to defend with Force Field so that does not happen. First off, we'll play Quiver of Arrows. Look at this card. I may discard it. We will not. Hey, are you an equipment? Yes. Are you a superpower? You are not, but we will leave you here. 3 power. You cost enough that I draw a card. 4, 5, 6. That's goodbye to Black Lantern Corps. And I have 0 power now. And that is 5 power. 6, 7. We'll copy that for 12 power. 13. We'll go ahead and get magic and a kick. So with having the base box and the metal box, what should be next in the queue to purchase? Any specific order of the crisis decks? So there's no specific order. The crisis decks, the crisis expansions, are all built with a base deck in mind, meaning that the original DC deck building game goes with Crisis 1. The Heroes Unite base set goes with Crisis 2. The Forever Evil base set goes with Crisis 3. And the Teen Titans base set goes with Crisis 4. Now, all of that being said, buy it any order and play it any way you want. Tonight, for example, we're playing Heroes Unite with Crisis 1. We mix and match them all the time because they have fun little differences that they introduce to each other to make the game very unique each time you play it. It's one of the best parts about the DC deck building game is this main deck can be whatever you want it to be. You can mix and match from all the sets if you want. So, in my personal opinion, the best Crisis is probably Crisis 2. Crisis 2 is by far the one I have the most fun playing. Now, the most fun and consistently win. If you want to have fun and you really like a challenge, check out Crisis 3. Crisis 3 games are almost always right down to the wire. It's very rare you have a runaway victory of Crisis 3. Crisis 4 is by far the easiest of the Crisis games. I it's pretty hard to lose a Crisis 4 game, especially in solo play. Multiplayer is actually a little bit more interesting. It's more likely you'll lose in Crisis 4 with multiplayer, but in solo it's really not a problem at all. Crisis 1 is the good run-of-the-mill one. That's what I'm playing tonight, and I really enjoy it at all times. I don't have anything bad to say about any of them. And I know there are people that don't really like Crisis mode. Now, it's not for everyone, but I really do like Crisis mode, and that's why I started doing this. But if I had to say, if I could go back and say, which one am I going to buy right now, I'd buy Crisis 2, because that one's themed around Blackest Night, and if you've ever read Blackest Night, it's one of the best, or at least one of the biggest Green Lantern stories out there. It's a lot of fun. Good. Jeff Johns at the height of his powers. Crisis 1 is kind of based around the early New 52. Crisis 3 is based around like the crime syndicate, the whole Earth 3 situation versus regular Earth. And Crisis 4 is based on, Teen Titans villains. So if you're going for theme, check out those themes. If you're going for gameplay, check out the different types of gameplay. 1 and 2 are pretty similar. I prefer 2. 3 is difficult and 4 is easy. You can't really lose. If you already have the base set of the original game, you can play any of them and it's not a problem. Crisis 1 would be the one that's suited for it, but as I said, that's really just a recommendation, and breaking that recommendation is highly recommended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So crossover packs. They add 15 to 20 cards to the main deck. Plus, they add, I think, each 6 to 8 new heroes that you can choose from. Crossover packs generally don't get played of Crisis games, but I am introducing the use of them next season, so you can look forward to that. Again, all they do is add theme to it. They add slightly new mechanics, like the Justice Society of America as a mechanic that encourages you to keep all the punch cards. Generally, when I play, I purposely try to destroy all the punch cards as fast as I can. I don't need cards that just add 1 power and do nothing else. And all sorts of stuff. They all add a new mechanic. They all add a little new twist on the game. Legion of Superhero adds time travel. The Rogues adds teamwork. Watchmen adds a secret role identity to the game. It's a lot of fun. They all add a new mechanic. They all add theme to the game. So again, for that one, I think the thing you want to look for most is what theme you like best. If you really like the Justice Society, or you like Alex Ross art because all the character cards are Alex Ross art, go with Justice Society. If you want to play a game where you can kind of fight against the other players that you're playing, check out the Rogues. And if you want to play a game where you play a lot of ongoing cards, check out Birds of Prey. Ongoing cards are used very heavily throughout Birds of Prey. I think that's what I got there for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for my hand. We'll go ahead and get a new card out here for this turn. So to beat Death in the Family, I have to. There's no hero to destroy, so I add a new card. I can't beat Death in the Family while Ocean Master's out there. So look at the top card. I may discard it. We'll leave you here. Are you a superpower? You are. Are you an equipment? You are not, and we will discard you. So you're going to be worth 3 power. Get rid of Ocean Master, that's 1 power. We will destroy Flight to get rid of a Death in the Family. So that's 1 power. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We'll get to New Genesis, but unfortunately Hades will remain. You know what? I'm going to take just a short break right there. Probably about a minute. I'm just going to fill up my water real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, we are back. Gotta shuffle up our discard pile here. Crisis would beat, so just a new card coming out, and then we just have Hades. Okay, I'm all caught up on what's going on. Whenever I walk away, I always completely forget, it seems. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are we doing? Well, we're going to play Force Field, so we can draw a card, and it's going to be an ongoing card for a defense. Then, we're going to say, hey, are you a equipment? You are. We'll play Quiver of Arrows. Look at this. We will not discard that. We will play Winged Warrior. It's 2 power, and I can draw a card because of... the reason I could draw a card is because of House of Mystery. So 2 power. And now we'll say, are you a superpower? You are not. We will discard you. Alright, so 1, 2. Draw a card. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 power total is enough to say goodbye to Hades. That is over. That was easy. New card coming out. I really want to get another signature trench coat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No defense in my hand. We do have a defense with Force Field. Okay. Rise of the Rot. At the start of your turn, gain a weakness unless you reveal one from your hand. None in my hand, so we gain a weakness. Each player must discard a weakness. Also, remove this crisis if the weakness stack runs out. Okay. So, Sinestro. Sinestro costs 3 more to defeat for each hero in the lineup. Each player puts all heroes from their hand into the lineup. There are no heroes in my hand. So, you know what? We're not going to defend. We're just going to take it. We will play a punch. Then we're going to magic that punch. That's 2 power. And the punch is destroyed. Then we'll say Quiver of Arrows to look at this card. We will discard it. We'll say, hey, are you an equipment? No. And we will discard it. And we'll say, hey, are you a superpower? No. And we will discard it. Now, there were some really good cards there I just discarded. Why did I do that? I did that for a very good reason, and that is to beat Rise of the Rot, I have to discard a weakness card. I've only got 1 right now, and it's in my discard pile. I'm just rifling through my deck as fast as possible so I can draw that weakness as soon as possible and get rid of Rise of the Rot. So, 1, 2, that triggers House of Mystery to draw a card. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll buy both, and that's goodbye to Killer Frost. And then we have to shuffle our discard pile. Got another magic. Sweet. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. So it's the beginning of my turn again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless we reveal one from our hand, we have to gain a weakness card. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Are you an equipment? You are not. We'll discard it. Are you a superpower? You are, so we draw it. Do we want to double down on anything? Yeah, I'll double down on Batarang. No, I have no need to. What am I talking about? We might need that later. So we're going to keep Batarang. And we'll just buy another magic. New card comes out. Brother Blood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I reveal one from my hand? I cannot, so I gain another weakness. Alright, so let's do this. Reveal the top card of my deck. I may discard it. We will not. Are you an equipment? Yes. And then we'll say, are you a superpower? You are not. So Rivals isn't going to do anything for you in solo. Rivals is a minimum of 2-player. Rivals is a lot of fun. It adds a team element to the game. So it's like the regular competitive DC game, except you can have 2 heroes and 2 villains, and they battle against each other. I really do enjoy Rivals, but there is no solo element that I know of. I think there is a solo variant on Board Game Geek that's worth looking up. I've tried it once or twice and had a lot of fun doing it. I might do a video of it later at some point, but for solo, it's not built for it. Doesn't mean it can't be adapted for it. The whole DC deck building line is very adaptable, but it is not built for it. It really is built for a head-to-head game of at least 2 people. Rivals and confrontations and all of that. They're all kind of in the same family. So that's going to be 3 power from Bow Staff. 4, 5. We'll just go ahead and draw a card. Look at the top card. I may discard it. We will discard it. 6, 7, 8. I can put punch cards into my hand, but I don't think I have any. I don't. So that's goodbye to Brother Blood. And now our turn is over. No more turn there. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Time to shuffle up the discard pile. And get ourselves. We should have our weakness right here. Shouldn't be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reveal that from our hand. There it is. To beat, each player must discard a weakness. So we discard that weakness and say goodbye to Rise of the Rot. Then, you may gain a card from the lineup with the same name as a card in your hand. I don't have that. So if you choose not to, plus 1 power. So that's 1 power with Black Canary. That's 2 power. New Genesis. So we'll look at the top card. Are you a hero? You are, so we'll draw it. Are you an equipment? You are not. But we'll leave you there. And we'll say, are you a superpower? You are. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to magic Daughter of Gotham. Getting rid of that. And that's 8. That's not enough power. The reason we magic Daughter of Gotham is because I have no punches. So she really is just 1 power. That's not going to do anything for me. With that 1 power, we'll go ahead and grab a Saint Walker. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really need that signature trench coat back. That's what I need. We will play a weakness, and we're going to magic away that weakness. That's over. Then we're going to say, are you a hero? You are not. Are you an equipment? Yes. Are you a superpower? You are not, and we'll discard you. We will play... Oh, we already played that, so we can't... Nah, never mind. 1, 2, 3, and I can put a villain on top of my deck. Put Manhunter on top of my deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 6, 7, 8, because I played another hero. 9, 10. And then copy this one's power. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Goodbye to Sinestro. And I still have enough to get Soul Taker's Sword also. So before you get there, I know you just asked about Rivals. The next logical question is what's going on with Rebirth. Rebirth is a lot of fun. Rebirth is a fantastic solo game. And I'm planning on doing some videos on that in probably November or December. Now, Rebirth is very different than the other DC deck building games. All the mechanics are the same, they're there, but it introduces new ones like movement. There's actual city locations in a circle, and you move around those. You can only buy cards at those locations that you're at. So you get a movement stat of the cards you play, so you can only move certain spaces. Now, the villains are also movable. So they are going to move around the circle each turn, either clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on the villain, and they have an ultimate location they're trying to get to. So your goal is to defeat those villains before they reach locations. And as long as you beat them before that, you're good. If they do happen to reach those locations, they start gathering damage. And that damage lasts through a full campaign. I think it's 8 scenarios that you play through. I really enjoy it. It's a hit or miss for a lot of people, but what I like about it is that it takes the DC deck building game, a game that a lot of people know and love, and it introduces these really interesting new mechanics that makes you think about it in a different way. You don't have the full lineup available to you at all times. If you can't move to the card that's over here, you can't buy the card that's over here. So you have to think about more elements, and I always enjoy things like that. So yes, reading minds. I think that's the last DC deck building game thing that I can think of. But you let me know if I missed anything. Alright, I have no defense in my hand, but I do have Force Field to defend whatever happens here. Our new crisis is Legion of Doom. Put the top 3 cards of the main deck into the lineup. 1, 2, and 3. John Constantine. There we go. Heroes lose all attacks and have +1 power instead. Each player must destroy a hero in their hand. Is this different for solo play? Some cards are different for solo play. That one is not. We must destroy a hero in our hand. Okay. So, we've got our new equipment, our new villain then, and it is Parallax. Each player reveals his hand and discards all cards of cost 3 or less. You know what? We're going to just defend against that with Force Field to draw. We don't draw a card. Never mind. Okay, the main boxes. DC deck building's main game, the original base game, is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for a lot of years to come. But if you move on to Heroes Unite, you're going to have a much richer experience, I guess is the best way to put it. What I mean by that is that the card combinations are a lot more complex. A lot of the cards in the basic game are like, oh, it's +3 power and maybe draw a card. Okay, that's really cool. But a lot of the cards in Heroes Unite are +2 power and then +1 power for each of this card type. Or +2 power and destroy a card in the lineup. There's a lot of really cool effects that build off of Heroes Unite. Some of them I'm using here tonight. For example, Starbolt earlier, the Lantern Ring mechanic, there's one for each color because of the whole Blackest Night theme. And they all work together to do really powerful maneuvers like drawing cards or destroying cards, or a defense card that lets you draw 2 cards after using it. Now, so basically, and it's pretty much universal that people think that Heroes Unite is the strongest base set. The next one, I think, would be Forever Evil. Forever Evil is really cool because it completely changes your expectations of the other base sets. Forever Evil has villains that are defense cards, which are unheard of in the other base sets. It has heroes that are attack cards. It has cards that don't give power, but instead just destroy cards that you own, so that you can like narrow your deck down to like a really strong core deck. It also has cards that gain tokens called victory points. So at the end of the game, you have a total of victory points at the end instead of counting your cards. Well, in addition to counting your cards. So since you destroyed most of your deck, you also get these victory points to make up for that. And that's for the regular play. Now, when it comes to Crisis solo play, Forever Evil is cool because it's really built for a competitive like attack type game, and using that against the game itself, or using that against the villains or the Crisis, is a lot of fun. The Teen Titans base set is built entirely around the concept that, hey, ongoing cards can be more than just locations. There can be ongoing cards that actually give you power each turn. There can be ongoing cards that you put out and generate power just when you remove them. So you can kind of time it. You play them. They sit there like, I need 2 extra power this turn. So I'm going to discard this ongoing card and get 2 extra power. That's a lot of fun. In Crisis 4, if you do that, introduces Unity, which is a whole other thing that uses ongoing cards, and it's a lot of fun too. So, to sum it up, the base game, it really is like the introduction to the DC deck building game. All the concepts are there, and they are easy to learn, easy to play, and always a good time. Heroes Unite kind of like ups the power level, but also ups the complexity. It takes the basic concepts and mixes them up. It makes it so that when you build your deck, you really have to focus on one thing. Like, I'm going to make a really strong deck consisting of as many of the Lantern Rings as possible. Or I'm going to focus on just superpowers or just equipment, things like this. Then there's Forever Evil. It's a really heavily competitive game. It's a really good PvP game that is focused on destruction. It says, hey, we're going to give a lot of cards to you, but you're going to destroy most of them and have a deck of like 10 to 20 cards that you really play with while you just destroy everything else that comes your way. So you just have really strong hands consistently. And then Teen Titans uses ongoing cards so that you can kind of like plan for future turns. Or you can have one really heavy turn. Or you can just kind of nudge each turn a little bit by getting 1 power this turn, 2 power next turn. It's really up to you. So those are the concepts, I guess, behind the 4 base games. At least in my eyes, and I think a lot of other people's too. Alright. So to beat this, I have to destroy a hero from hand. But heroes don't have text. So, how are we going to do this? We have... Let's start with, are you an equipment? You are an equipment, okay. Are you a superpower? You are not, and we will discard you, and we'll say, hey, are you a hero? You are not, we'll leave you there. Now, we're going to play Skeets, and that allows me to put a hero from my discard pile into my hand. What hero do we have that we're willing to get rid of? Saint Walker it is. Saint Walker goes to my hand. We are going to destroy a hero in my hand to get rid of Legion of Doom. So, there's that. Haven't played anything. So 2 power here triggers House of Mystery so I can draw a card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And a weakness. We're going to go ahead and get John Constantine and Magician's Corset. Those are 2 of my favorite cards in all of DC deck building games. So, going to have those. Didn't have to deal with Legion of Doom too long. Kind of played the game against itself there to get that. But we're going to go ahead and get Parallax out very soon, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, we're going to start with putting force... You know what? No, we're going to start with a Quiver of Arrows. Look at this card. We will not discard it. We'll use New Genesis. Are you a hero? You are. Then we'll say, are you a equipment? You are not. We'll say, are you a superpower? Hey, look, you are. Force Field allows us to draw a card. Magician's Corset. Choose any number of players. Each of those players draws a card and gets +1 power for each player who draws a card this way. So that's 1 power and draw a card. And because that costs 5 or more, triggers House of Mystery to draw another card. And then we can play Quiver of Arrows again. Look at this card. We're not going to discard that. That's fine. We're going to play this weakness, and then we're going to use magic on said weakness. So all of this, we've got 1 power so far. Crazy, I know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anything I can do to get a little more power. I don't think there is. That's all the heroes I've got, right? So with that 10, we'll go ahead and get the Rot and Hawk Girl. We're going to leave Flight out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can put a hero into my hand. We're going to put Winged Warrior right in my hand. And then we're going to say, are you an equipment? You are not. Are you a superpower? Yes. Are you a hero? You are not. And we'll leave it there. Winged Warrior. That's 2 power. And then I get to draw a card because of House of Mystery. 3, 4. Magic that for 5. You know what? Not magic it. We're just going to stay at 3, 4 for now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we are going to magic kick. Magic kick. To get to 13, 14. Goodbye to Parallax. Wasn't sure if we'd get there. Didn't want to waste the magic if I didn't have to. Alright, new card comes out for our next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, do I have a defense? I don't have a defense, but we do have Force Field out here still. So our new crisis is Kryptonite Meteor, which is unfortunate because it nullifies this defense card. Put the top 3 cards of the main deck into the lineup. 1, 2, and 3. Superpower cards lose all text and have +1 power instead. Each player must destroy a superpower in hand. Very well. And our new equipment, our new, I keep saying equipment. Our new villain is Dark Side. Dark Side costs 3 more to defeat for each superpower in the lineup. There's 1, 2 out there right now. Each player puts all superpowers from his hand into the lineup. Well, fortunately, I have none in my hand, so that's okay. We're going to go with... we have to beat Psycho Pirate. So, 2 power, and we'll destroy this weakness. 3, 4, 5, and we can put a villain on top of my deck. Then, that triggers House of Mystery, because it costs enough to draw a card. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is enough to get rid of both Psycho Pirates. Now, we'll say, are you an equipment? It is not. It's a hero. So we'll say, are you a hero? Very well, it is. We'll play it. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Draw one of them, put the other on top of your deck, or destroy it. So, reveal top 2 cards of my deck, and draw one of them, put the other on top of your deck, or destroy it. We're going to draw Magic, and we'll leave Manhunter on top of my deck. Now, I do not want to destroy Magic, but I do have to destroy Magic if I'm going to get rid of Kryptonite Meteor. So, goodbye to Magic. We'll get it back when the new Signature Trenchcoat comes out. So, now we've got Indigo Tribe, which copies a card. So, that's going to copy, we'll say, Jason Blood for 3 power, which we'll use to buy Raven. Animal Man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need the other Signature Trenchcoat to come out. Gotta get that magic back. Gotta get the magic back. Alright. So he's gonna cost 10 plus 3 plus 3. So that's 16. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll say, are you an equipment? 11, 12. Are you a superpower? Okay. And then, are you a hero? You are not, and we'll discard that. We're going to use that on Kick. So that 12 just became 13, 14. Because Kick costs 5 or more, triggers House of Mystery. 15, and count those heroes, 16, 17, 18 power. That is enough to be Dark Side. And then I'd still have 2 power left over. Do I want Flight? We'll get it just in case. Just in case. I don't, you know what? No, I don't want Flight. What am I talking about? We got better defense cards than that. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have defense cards in my hand, and we have Force Field. So we're okay. We have Killer Frost. Identity Crisis. Each player flips his superhero face down. Players cannot avoid the supervillain's first appearance attack. Each player must discard 6 power worth of cards from hand, then flip your superhero face up. Okay. Black Manta. Black Manta costs 3 more to defeat for each equipment in the lineup. Each player puts all equipment from his hand into the lineup. That is dangerous because I have 4 equipment in my hand. 4 equipment in my hand going out that no longer are mine. And I don't have the power to get rid of Identity Crisis. So, it's going to be a few turns. Winged Warrior is 2 power, but that does trigger House of Mystery so that I can draw a card. Alright. 3, 4. Then we'll say, are you a hero? You are not. Are you an equipment? Yes. Are you a superpower? No. We'll leave you there. So 2, 4, 5, 6. That's all of the locations. Yep. So with that 6, we're going to go ahead. We're going to say goodbye to Killer Frost. And I'll get 1 Quiver of Arrows, but I'm not going to get the... You know, I will get the other one. I don't want the other one. It'll just make Black Manta cheaper if I have less equipment out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will play the Rot. And then what do we have? We're going to reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Draw 1. We will draw Green Lantern, Power Ring, and we'll leave Manhunter. You know what? No. We'll draw Manhunter and leave Power Ring on top of my deck. That's right. And we'll say, hey, are you an equipment? You are. Then we'll say, are you a hero? You are. Are you a superpower? You are not. We will discard that, though. Okay. And also, John Constantine costs enough to trigger House of Mystery. So we draw another card. Lots of drawing going on there. So, to beat Identity Crisis, I have to discard 6 power from my hand. So we'll discard Jason Blood. Maybe not. We'll do Soul Taker Sword, Batarang, and Bow Staff. That's 6 power discarded. Saying goodbye to Identity Crisis, getting my hero back. Alright. 3 power, and I can put a villain on top of my deck. I'm not going to, though. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Count those heroes. 9. So 9 power there. With 9 power, we'll get Magician's Corset and Skeets. And then we'll get a new card out here, and hopefully we can beat Black Mana very soon. Shuffle up this discard pile. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very well. We are looking at a pretty good hand here. I'm okay with this. How are we doing out there? Okay. So, reveal... You know what? Before we do that, we're going to say, are you a equipment? You are. Are you a superpower? You are. Oh, wait, no, you're an equipment. What am I talking about? We're going to discard that. And then we'll say, are you a hero? You are. Man, that just keeps working. All right. Reveal 2 cards. Draw one of them. Put the other on top of my deck. We'll draw Jason Blood. We'll leave Science Cell because we're going to play Raven to draw Science Cell. So that's 1 power. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw a card. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Nothing up here I want a magic. So with that 18, that's goodbye to Black Mana. Still have 8 left over, which we will use to buy an Animal Man. You know what? We're going to buy 2 Animal Mans. Okay. Let's get through this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a new card coming out. A new Power Ring. Sweet. Our new... Oh, man, I had Green Lantern to defend with, and Electromagnetic Pulse comes out. Put the top 3 cards of the main deck into the lineup. 1, 2, and there's that signature trench coat I wanted, and another Batarang. Equipment cards lose all text and have +1 power instead. Each player must destroy an equipment in his hand. Okay. Then we have the Joker. He is different for solo. He is discard a random card. If it has a cost of 0, gain a weakness and repeat this. So I have to discard a random card. You know what? We're going to use Force Field to defend against that. We are not going to take that attack. Very well. First off, we'll say, are you a hero? You are not. Are you an equipment? Yes. Are you a superpower? You are not. And we'll leave you there for now. All right, 1, and then +1 for each hero in my discard pile. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power. Goodbye, Jervis Tetch. Leaving us with 4 power. We're going to give Quiver of Arrows to Electromagnetic Pulse, getting rid of that. So that's 4 power. Draw a card. Look at the top card of your deck. I may discard it. We will discard you. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then is that going to copy another one? to bring us to 9-10. That's enough to beat the Joker right away. I was thinking of buying some cards, but you know what? Whenever you can beat the villain and the crisis in the same turn, and it's the same turn that they were both introduced, you do it. It gets the game moving a lot faster. Plus, our deck is pretty slim already, and while we have to introduce things in order to beat crises, I like to keep it as slender and as fast as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So do we have a defense card in my hand? We do not. No defense cards. None in my ongoing area and none in my hand. So we do have to have a new card come out. A new crisis is Dimension Shift. Put the top 3 cards of the main deck into the lineup. 1, 2, and 3. All cards in the lineup cost 2 more to buy. Each player needs to reveal the top card of his deck. If any player reveals a card of cost exactly 2, remove the crisis. Very well. Very well. All right, and then our new villain is Atrocitus. Each player puts his hand under his superhero. I can't avoid the attack, so that happens. Okay, whole hand goes under the superhero. Put a random blah, 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 blah. When the villain is defeated, discard those cards. Very well. So then another turn comes up after a card comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. We need a card that costs exactly 2. We need to get rid of these villains first. So we'll start with, are you an equipment? No. Are you a superpower? Yes. Are you a hero? No, and we'll leave you there. And we're going to play John Constantine, reveal 2 cards. We can draw 1 and leave the other on top of our deck, which triggers House of Mystery, so we can draw another card. Then we'll play Skeets to draw a card. Then I'll play Magician's Corset to draw another card. Alright, so that's 1 power so far. 2, 3, and then we can guess this is a superpower. It is a villain. Oh well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is going to copy Bowstaff. Oh, wait, no, sorry, not doing that. This is going to copy Bowstaff to get us to 16. So goodbye, Talon. Goodbye, Mr. Zaz, leaving us with 12. We'll get a Batarang, leaving us with 10. Signature Trenchcoat, leaving us with 6. Flight, leaving us with 4. Katana, leaving us with 2. Now, I bought a bunch of cards there I probably wouldn't normally buy. I bought them. Oh, I screwed up buying them, actually. They all cost 2 more. I can't buy all those cards. So, again, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 power. And everything does cost 2 more. So, this costs 4, bringing me down to 12. This costs 4, bringing me down to 8. This costs 4, bringing me down to 4. And I can't afford anything else. The reason I bought all those cards is because they all cost 2, so I can beat Dimension Shift. Hey, no problem on the feedback. Thanks for joining the Discord server. I hope you stick around. I hope you get the sets you're looking for so that you can start playing. The more players there, the better for everyone. Rankings are always a lot of fun for everyone, and being able to move up it by playing past rounds is a lot of fun. So check it out. Hopefully you get some Crisis sets soon so you can get started, and enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching, and thanks for playing. So where was I? I'm going to play Dimension Shift. I need to be able to beat that. So to beat it, each player reveals the top card of his deck. If any player receives a card of cost exactly 2, remove the Crisis. Okay, so we're going to play Quiver of Arrows. Look at the top card. We may discard it. We will discard that. Then we'll say Superhero. It is a superhero. Okay. Then we're going to say equipment. So let's what do I want to say? Equipment? Yeah, we're going to say equipment. We're going to say, are you an equipment? You are. And then we'll say, I guess the last one is superpower. Are you a superpower? You are not. We will discard you instead. And now with that being said, we're going to try and beat the crisis. We can only try and beat the crisis once per turn. We're going to try and beat it now. So, do you cost 2? You cost 5. So, nope, we can't beat it this turn. So, this turn we can generate power still. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That triggers House of Mystery to draw a card. 6 and draw a card. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and draw a card. 14, 15, 16, 17 power. That is a lot of power. 17 minus 6 is 11. Minus 7 is 4. So I can't buy anything else. So everything costs 2 extra. So that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. New card coming out. That's a couple of villains there. Well, that should go over here. We have Force Field, so we can draw a card. Then, reveal 2 cards. Add 1 to my hand and leave the other right on top of my deck. Now, how can we do this? 2, 3, 4, 5, equipment? No. 6, 7. We're going to use this on Batarang to get to 8, 9 power. With that 9 power, we get rid of Mr. Zaz for 5. We can't afford to get rid of Strife, though. But we can still try and beat Dimension Shift, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check the rules. Okay, so I can't attempt to beat it while there are villains. Perfect. Okay. That's the end of that turn then. Shuffle everything up. So different crises have different rules about when you can attempt to beat it. Crisis 1 you cannot attempt while there are villains in the lineup, while other ones you can actually do it while there are villains out there, and then ultimately they're beat after the villains are gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, we get a new card coming out. That'll be 3 power here. 4. That's enough to get rid of Deadshot. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, we're going to say it's a hero. It is not. We're going to use Gotham City, say it's an equipment. So we're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, minus 4 is 5. That's enough to say goodbye to Strife. So, we can look at the top card and say, are you a hero? You are not. We'll play Magician's Corset because this is enough to get that. Then, we'll say, we already did the are you equipment, we already did are you hero, so we're going to say, are you a superpower? It is. And now, we're going to just try to beat Dimension Shift. Do you cost 2? You cost 4. So can't do it this turn. We will use Signature Trenchcoat to gain a card from the destroyed pile. Something we lost long ago, one of the power rings, or the other Signature Trenchcoat, actually. I think what we're going to do is the other Signature Trenchcoat to just increase the times that we use Signature Trenchcoat. Where is it? Where is it? I know you're in here. There you go. And then we'll get the rings later, faster, because we have 2 Signature Trenchcoats. We can play Katana, but that's not really going to do anything for us this turn. New card comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, how are we doing? First off, we'll say, are you a hero? You are not. Are you an equipment? Yes. And then we're going to play Animal Man. We're going to say this is an equipment. It is. Then we'll play Skeets, which allows us to put a hero from my discard pile on top of my deck. We'll put Katana on top of my deck. We'll try and beat Dimension Shift. Do you cost 2? Hey, look, you do. Goodbye to Dimension Shift. Perfect. So that's 2 power. 3 and draw a card. Look at the top card of my deck. We'll go ahead and leave that there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 power there. So that's 10 power. Then look at the top 2 cards in my deck. Destroy 1. We'll destroy this Manhunter to get 11 power, which is enough to say goodbye to Atrocitus. That's all we needed. Now, since we beat Atrocitus, we can get these cards back into my discard pile. Do we have enough here for a hand? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, gotta shuffle everything up and get a new card out. We're gonna have a new Crisis soon. There we go, John Constantine. That's what I'm talking about. All those magic cards, those John Constantine themed cards, they're my favorite from across the entire game most of the time. The Lantern Rings plus the John Constantine cards. It's a good combo. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have Force Field out, so that's good news. Anything in my hand? We have no defense in our hand, but that's okay. We have Untouchable Villain. At the start of your turn, put the top card of the main deck into the lineup. If it's not a villain, discard a card. Each player must destroy 8 costs worth of cards from hand. Very well. Then Deathstroke. Each player destroys a hero, superpower, and equipment in his hand. We are going to use Force Field to defend against that, please, and thank you. Okay, so, start of my turn, I put a card from the main deck into the lineup. It's not a villain, so I have to discard a card. We're going to discard Bowstaff. And then, each player must destroy 8 costs worth of cards in his hand. First off, we'll play John Constantine. Reveal... You know what? Maybe not John Constantine. Maybe instead we... You know, we're going to first off play, are you a hero? You are not. Are you an equipment? Yes. Are you a superpower? No, and we will discard you. You know what? No. We'll leave you there. John Constantine, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Draw 1. Leave the other on top. Sorry about that. I didn't really want this card. I just want to use it for Untouchable Villain. So, we need to destroy, what is it, 8 costs worth of cards? So that's 1. Not great choices here. I guess we can destroy Jason Blood, but he goes so well with some of my other cards. I don't think we're going to do it this turn. We'll play Quiver of Arrows to look at this card, but we're not going to discard that. So, we can draw a card. Oh, maybe we will now, though. Nah. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. With that 15 power, we're going to buy Plastic Man for 3. John Constantine bringing us to 8, leaving us with 7 power, which is enough to buy Shazam. New card comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so, start of our turn for Untouchable Villain. We have to put a card out. It is a villain, so nothing else happens. Okay. Are you a hero? No. We'll play Animal Man. Are you an equipment? Yes. Then, for Gotham City, are you an equipment? No. Another Animal Man. Are you a superpower? Yes. And then for Metropolis, are you a superpower? No. Then we'll play Raven to draw a card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 powers so far. 6, 7. Goodbye to Etrigan the Demon. Then we're going to destroy Signature Trenchcoat, Batarang, and Flight to get rid of Untouchable Villain. And then we're going to play Signature Trenchcoat to gain Signature Trenchcoat back, because I don't want it to go away. Just wanted to get rid of Untouchable Villain. So that's taken care of. New card coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's see. We'll play Black Lantern Corps, which is 1, 2, 3 power for us. I'm going to say, are you an equipment? You are. Are you a superpower? You are not. We'll say, are you an equipment? You are. Then we'll use New Genesis to say, are you a hero? Very well, it is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 1 for heroes in my discard pile, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 superpower. 14 power, I mean. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 drawing a card. 19 is enough to get rid of Deathstroke. I still have 9 left over. Let's go ahead and buy Deadman. Do we want Deadman? Let me just check my discard pile real fast, see if anything's worth destroying in here. You know, there's 1 or 2 cards only that really destroyed. Does this say up to 2 cards? It does. We're going to buy Deadman. We're going to destroy Quiver of Arrows. And I think that's it. I think I really just wanted to destroy Quiver of Arrows, let's be honest. And I did that, so we can move on. And we will move on now. Shuffle everything up because we have our final villain. So we have Crisis Anti-Monitor. Spoiler alert, that's the last villain. But we do have a last Crisis. It could be Final Countdown. I don't think we saw the one... I think Final Countdown might be it. It's either that or the one where I have to contribute villains. So we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will say I'm kind of disappointed. I didn't have as many villains in my deck as I wanted for Black Canary. No defense in my hand. The new Crisis... I have to get a new card out here. The new Crisis is Final Countdown. At the start of your turn, put a card with cost 1 or greater from your hand into the lineup. Your team must destroy cards in the lineup of cost 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. I always like to line things up for this. So there's 3, 7, 5, 4, 3. Very well. And then we have our new card here, and it's Crisis Anti-Monitor. When a hero is added to the lineup, each player puts a weakness from the stack on top of the deck. Crisis Anti-Monitor costs 1 more to defeat for each card in the lineup. Now, additionally, when you're playing solo, he adds an additional card to the lineup, so 2 cards are going out per turn. We have to start our turn by adding a card to the lineup, so we would rather put something that costs 6 or 2 out here if possible. I do have one that costs 6, but it's a villain, so it won't count. We'll put Soul Taker Sword out there. We'll start with John Constantine. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. We will draw Bowstaff. We'll leave Skeets there. But because John Constantine costs 5 or more, we draw a card because of House of Mystery. Then we're going to play Black Lantern Corps. So that's 1, 2, 3 power. We'll say, are you an equipment? You are not. Are you a superpower? You are. 4, 5. Reveal the top card of the main deck. And I get to play it. Okay. So, again, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we haven't done the one where you a superpower yet. No, it's not. I can draw a card, though. Boom. Bow staff, 8, 9, 10. Copy that. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, that's a lot of power. A lot more than I need to get rid of these 2 villains, which cost 8. And we'll buy ourselves a Skeets and replace it with Soul Taker Sword. Okay, new card comes out. Second card because we are playing single player. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to add a card to the lineup. Ooh, Jason Blood costs 7, so that's not... We need 6 and 2. Nothing that costs 6 or 2, huh? Nothing that costs 6 or 2. That's crazy. Okay. Very well. John Con... Oh, we have to put something out, though. What am I saying? We'll put... I guess we'll put Strife out there. We're not really using her. We'll start with... Gotham. Are you an equipment? You are. Okay. And then we'll say, are you a superpower? You are. Okay. And then we'll say, are you a hero? You are not. But we'll play Animal Man and say, are you an equipment? There we go. We have another Animal Man, so then we'll say, are you a equipment? And it's a hero. So that's 2, 4. And then I can reveal the top 2 cards of my deck. We'll draw Hawkgirl, leave Science Cell on top because that costs 5 or more. Triggers House of Mystery to draw another card. So we are at 4 power. Play Force Field so we can draw another card. 5, 6. Are you an equipment? Ah, it's a superpower. Draw a card. It's magic. 7, 8. We're going to magic that Science Cell. 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 3 is 14, and I can put a hero on top. I'm sorry, villain on top of my deck. 15, count those heroes. 16, 17, 18 there. Okay, again, both of you are gone. Leaving me with 12. We'll buy Canary Call, but that's it. I'm not buying anything that's part of the countdown right now. Part of my planned countdown, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. New card comes out, and it is a cost 2 card. Second card, because of Crisis Anti-Monitor, costs 5. We have to add a card for our turn. Do we have anything cost 6? We do, but it's a villain, so it doesn't really count. So we have to add something else. We'll add Dead Man. First up, we'll play Black Lantern Corps. That's 1, 2, 3 power. Triggers House of Mystery to draw a card. Gain a card from the destroyed pile. We're going to gain... Isn't there another card of... Oh, never mind. There is not. Okay, so I have to gain something from the destroyed pile. Let's look for something that costs... Oh, it has to be 5 or less, so I can't get something cost 6. We're going to get Manhunter. I think that's an interesting choice. It's at least going to allow us to really use our Black Canary ability a bit more, and also increase the power that my Manhunters are generating. So that's nothing to not complain about, right? Star Sapphire, though, that's pretty strong. Any other Lantern Rings? I know there's other Lantern Rings, but Star Sapphire is generally my favorite. We're gonna go with Manhunter. We're going to Manhunter. Yeah. Manhunter. Alright, so again, it is 1, 2, 3 power, 4, 5, 6 and draw a card. Gain another card. I guess we will gain our Lantern Ring. And then we'll copy another card in terms of power. We'll say so 7, 8 power is enough to get our Starbolt. It's not enough to get Dead Man this turn. New card comes out. Second card because of Crisis Anti-Monitor. So that is our cost 6 card right there. We do have to add a card for the beginning of our turn. And after that, we can destroy cards in the lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to add a card. We will add Bow Staff. Now we have to destroy cards in the lineup. We're going to destroy all these cards here. Goodbye. They are gone. So is Final Countdown. And with that, we are on to fighting Crisis Anti-Monitor. So, very well. We're going to go with, are you an equipment? It is an equipment. Are you a superpower? It is not. We'll leave it there. We'll say Raven, +1 power, and draw a card. Then we'll say, are you a hero? It is not. Gain a card from the destroyed pile. What do we want from the destroyed pile, huh? Let's get a Manhunter. We'll just get more Manhunters going. So we're at 1 power. Haven't triggered House of Mystery yet. 1, 2, 3. House of Mystery is triggered. Draw a card. 4, 5. Play this card. 6, 7 because of Black Canary, and +2 for each Manhunter in my discard pile. So again, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then one of my discard pile brings us to 8, 9. That's good. 9 +3 brings me to 12. And we'll use that. No, we'll leave that. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And we have Red Lantern Ring, but we don't need it because that's enough because he only costs 13, 14, 15, 16. So that 17 power is all we needed. Okay, that went pretty well. My only complaint about the whole situation is that Black Canary didn't work. And she didn't work because Signature Trenchcoats first came up pretty early, and then I lost it to Collapsing Parallel Worlds. And then the second one didn't come up for a while, so gaining villains did not happen that often. I had a few of them. I got +1 for them. But Black Canary was kind of a disappointment. I would have been better off with Hawkman or even Animal Man. But I tried Black Canary. I still think she can work. It's all about timing and the cards you do get and when you get them, but she is a very capable character for Crisis Mode. I still really enjoyed the setup of Heroes Unite plus Crisis 1. I think there's a lot of power within the Heroes Unite base deck, and I really love the interactions that the Constantine cards have in Crisis 1. I love drawing cards and destroying cards using magic. I love getting cards from the destroy pile of Signature Trenchcoat. It's one of my favorite mechanics in the whole game. So, I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoy solo Crisis games yourself. If you do, you should check out the links below. There's all sorts of information there about what the Solo Crisis League is and how it works. But essentially, we take this win-lose condition game and we say how well did you win or how poorly did you lose by ranking you on different aspects like the size of the main deck at the end of the game, how many villains you defeated, things like this. It's a lot of fun to play. I enjoy myself every week. I enjoy playing it. I enjoy running it, and I hope you're interested too. If you like this playmat, I make it. It's available on my Etsy store, and there's a link below for that. So, there's that information for you, and I think that's everything. I'll be back later this week. I still have 2 more runs before we finish up round 5 of Season 3 and finish up Season 3 overall. It's the last round of Season 3. So, thanks for watching, and you all have a good night.